Do you remember seeing me for the first time? I was a mess on the subway floor.
I didn't see a mess. I saw the most beautiful and frightened woman I had ever met.
You were my only ally in that hell, my only safe secret. And you were my hope for a different future. I'm a paramedic. My job is to touch strangers every day.
But your touch, it never felt like a stranger's to me.
Never.
I looked for you afterwards. I had to find you. I needed to thank you.
You didn't have to. But I prayed that you would.
Every one of our meetings in that cafe felt like a little secret. It was our secret, the best and most exciting one I have ever kept.
I was falling in love with you and I was completely terrified.
Me too. You were from a different world, a world that intimidated me.
But your smile, it made my whole world stop for an instant.
And your calmness, it made my world stop spinning so fast.
I never thought the woman who literally saved my life would become the center of it. Surprise.
I saw the real, frightened woman behind the CEO's armor.
And I saw the peace and refuge behind your everyday strength.
I was so afraid of feeling this for you.
Fear only proves how real it was and how worth it. Every touch, every kiss, it felt like we were breaking a rule.
They were our rules. I spent my whole life building an empire of things that didn't matter. Chasing things that,
I think in the end, we were both just looking for a home.
And I finally found mine.
Here, in you. Thank you for finding me that day, in the middle of my chaos.
I think we found each other exactly when we needed to.
Our story began with my heart stopping in fear.
My name is Maya. I'm 30 years old and I'm a paramedic. My life is made of sirens, adrenaline, and finding calm in the middle of chaos. I'm used to seeing people at their worst moments, but nothing prepared me for the day I met Olivia. It was a routine call, woman having a panic attack at the subway station. I expected to find someone scared, needing help. What I didn't expect was to find the most powerful woman in the city, CEO Olivia Sterling, huddled on the floor, her impeccable facade shattered, fighting for every breath. She seemed so fragile, so human. And in that moment, kneeling beside her, holding her trembling hand, and speaking to her in a low voice, something changed in me. My job had always been about saving lives, but as I looked into those terrified blue eyes, I felt, for the first time, an overwhelming desire to save a soul. She wasn't just a patient. She was a mystery I needed to solve.
I never expect to see my patients again. It's the nature of the job. But a week later, she showed up at my station, unannounced. CEO Olivia Sterling, now back in her armor of expensive suits and confident posture, was there, asking for me. My heart leapt. She said she wanted to thank me personally. She invited me for coffee. I should have said no. There were a million professional reasons to do so, but I said yes. Our first coffee was awkward and wonderful. She was intelligent, witty, and underneath that layer of control, there was a vulnerability that drew me in. And I saw the way she looked at me, not as a paramedic, but as a person, as a woman. Our meetings became our little secret. We would talk for hours about everything and nothing. I was falling in love with the woman behind the legend. And with every shared laugh, every accidental touch of hands, the line between her gratitude and my desire became increasingly blurred. One night, she invited me to her apartment, a stunning place on top of the city, but it felt cold and impersonal. That night, her armor fell away completely. She talked about her loneliness, about the pressure of being Olivia Sterling, about how the panic attack was a cry for help from her soul. And I listened. And for the first time, I wasn't the paramedic tending to a patient. I was just Maya, caring for Olivia. The proximity was unbearable. The electricity between us filled the silence. She was afraid to feel, and I was afraid to want.
It was she who broke the spell. She reached out her hand and touched my face, a gesture so tender and hesitant it broke my heart. "I don't know what this is," she whispered, her voice trembling. "I do," I replied before leaning in and kissing her. The kiss was an explosion, a release of all the tension we had built. And that moment in her luxury apartment with the city sparkling at our feet, we found a refuge in each other. Our love blossomed in secret. It was a risk for both of us, for her reputation, for my professional ethics. But what we felt was too strong to be ignored. The nights in her apartment became our sanctuary, the only place in the world where she wasn't the CEO and I wasn't the paramedic. We were just Olivia and Maya. I taught her how to breathe again, how to find calm in the middle of her own storm. And she taught me that my heart, which I thought had been numbed by the routine of my job, was still capable of beating wildly for someone. She was my most beautiful chaos, and I was her deepest peace. The lesson I learned wasn't in any first aid manual. The real emergency isn't when a heart stops beating, but when it's afraid to start feeling. And saving Olivia, or maybe her saving me, was the most important call of my life.